Please welcome Melusina Reimers, Hohe Universität Bochum.
I'm Melusina Reimers, and I'm the project manager of World Factory Startup Center at Ruhr University in Bochum. And I nominated Lidrotec because they have developed a highly innovative technology for one of the most important future markets. However, Lidrotec is not a nerd club. I know them as an extremely powerful startup that is growth-oriented and market-driven. Lidrotec should be the Falling Walls Venture Science Startup of the year 2021 because their technology would not only make the production of microchips more sustainable, but also cheaper. It could hardly be better.
Breaking the wall of high-waste microchip manufacturing. Alexander Karnitz, Lidrotec.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alex, and I'm one of the 4 co-founders of Lidrotec. And the first wall that with our technology and product we're going to break is the wall of high-waste microchip manufacturing. So microchips are the backbone of our digitized world, and they run behind every software and app you know. And they are produced on these pizza-sized plates called wafers, and there are thousands of chips on these wafers. And before they can be put into a device, they need to be cut out. But there's a huge problem, because during this cutting process, and may the chip be elaborate as it is, there are losses of up to 10% of these chips. So that makes estimated 6 billion euros of material waste. And it's not just the material and in economics that are lost, but there are toxic materials, there are precious metals used during the production process. Lidrotec has a solution, because with our technology, there are no damaged chips anymore during the cutting process. What does that mean for a company? So for a business case example, for a company with 10 billion euros in revenue, that makes reduced material costs of 200 million euros. And additionally, our technology can be more precise, and they can make smaller cutting width and gain an additional productivity increase worth 60 million euros, which makes a gross margin increase of 2.5%. And because pictures say more than 1,000 words, look at our cuts in the middle of a silicon wafer. So you see a clean cut, no debris, no burr, compared to the left side, where you have mechanical dicing saws, which induce cracks through mechanical stress, or where you have debris burned, also cracks through heat accumulation by conventional laser processing. Our unique innovation is the use of liquids during the laser process. The liquids effectively rinse and cool the material and can be specifically tailored to each application and material. That gives a higher quality and a higher precision and a higher output per wafer. Together with independent equipment manufacturers, we sell a machine where the critical components and the IP is owned by Lidrotec. But it's not just the sale of the machine that we're doing, but we establish a long-term relationship with our client, because we provide them over the years with over-the-air updates for their new applications, liquids specifically tailored to each applications, and of course service. And that's just the first wall we are going to break, because we have a technology platform that is able to break more walls. So with an estimated market of 1 billion euros in total, the wafer dicing market is a good market to enter. But at least across all applications, we target a market of 30 billion euros, because our technology can move further. So for example, if you go directly in the same science, you can imagine having the same problems when looking at the cutting of smartphone displays. But imagine further, We can produce medical implants, which are very tiny, which cannot be produced right now with the methods that are available. And our technology is able to modify the surface of this implant in a way that the body accepts these implants and does not cloak on them. Or you can imagine cutting lenses for autonomous driving cars that are self-cleaning. And if you think really big, you can think of airplanes that are completely ice-free and more aerodynamic. Thank you, we're Lidrotec, and we're literally cutting edge.
That's a good pitch. That's a laser pitch. We have a question here first.
Alexander, very, very enjoyable. What kind of complexity does the introduction of liquid bring to your process, and how do you, so effectively, how does it fit into a standard process, and also does it work in production 24/7, and why don't the others do it?
Thank you for the question. Yes, that's a good question. So first, I want to answer, it fits into any other process that is done in the semiconductor industry because they also use liquids, for example, in the mechanical dicing. Why nobody has done it and what is the difference is if you have the material just under standard atmosphere or in vacuum and you hit a surface with a laser beam, it evaporates the material and it flies away, flies away, flies away. That's a process. And eventually it hits the surface, what's bad. In our case, it is you have the surface, you evaporate the material, and then it interacts with the liquid. It crashes against the liquid, it penetrates the liquid. A hot, dense plasma builds up very, very locally with the highest cooling rates, at least that I've researched. And then over the time scale of several orders of magnitude, different effects occur that we have studied during our research and now how to deal with them. So we know from others that they started investigating in that technology, but there's a huge entry barrier. And we're taking use of that also with our IP, that we have come so far, we know things that others don't. And 24/7, yeah, that's already working. That is something we need to test because we're right now at the demonstrator prototyping phase. But we are using, for a big part, standard components that are well elaborated also in the semiconductor industry. And also the lasers are today 24/7, several years running.
I just want to make sure, do we have a question here also? Yeah, okay, sorry, Jerry first, I'm sorry. Yes, go on.
I'll be quick.
Yeah.
Lots of chip manufacturing plants are being built. You're sort of back end of the line when it comes to cutting. You're replacing the existing cutting equipment that goes into these factories. Now, can you reiterate the performance parameters? How much garbage they create compared to you? How much people save, and what the cost of your machine is? It should be a no-brainer almost if your machine is actually performing.
Yes. So the cost of our machine is comparable to the cost of the machine that are used right now. So if you compare it to laser machines, it is more costly than a dicing saw, but the quality is higher. And we reach, so by decreasing the material waste, this, if you replace a machine, it amortizes within 2 years.
If you replace it.
If you replace a machine.
When you build a new fab, which, tons of new fabs are being built just at the moment, then it's a no-brainer, you say?
Then it is a no-brainer.
Okay. I have a conflict. Do you want to have the question? No, I have a conflict with the jury question. I need them to have the substance they need to select. But, okay.
Thank you. I'll be quick, too. You mentioned that you are doing machine sales and IP. Can you explain how the IP component works?
The IP component works, so you can imagine that with the invention of a laser, somebody already shoot with a laser on a surface and something happened in the liquid. I guarantee you. So it's really that we have to tackle the process know-how that we have and the engineering parts from every aspect. So we have the products that we sell, so the critical components. We patent the processes where it is critical to see how you can see that somebody affected your process, and also the liquids are a critical part in our IP strategy.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you will pardon me that I skipped your question. Please go on a brain date afterwards, okay? And ask your question. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.